Yeah, they got rid of one of the things, like equipment something.
Yeah, there used to be an IR sensor.
How did you use the servo or was it pure positioning?
See, there, it's a perfectly.
That's perfect.
It does that almost every time. The one time you watched it.
What is that? It's like the fifth time we did it now, and the only that
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Dr. Colton, we're team challenged, and here's our robot. From the front, it looks like an X-Wing, and from the top, it looks a little more like a Millennium Falcon. That was on purpose because we love Star Wars. We used this really long ball ramp design so that as we were going to ball return, we wouldn't have to turn. We also used a really tall design with the line sensing, the canyon nav, and the battery pack all underneath to try and give it as clean a look on top as possible. That ended up not working out, but it was really cool to see how well we could get the wire management done before we had our PCB fail. One negative from having this tall ball ramp, however, was that as we approached higher speeds, it was a lot more wobbly, and so we had to lower the speed a little bit.
Hey, so my contribution to this project, I would say, just looking at the robot, has to be the wiring. And I know it's super ugly, but given the fact that our PCB blew out the day before the final, and I mean, nothing, we had to scrap all of our wiring. I'm really proud of how this turned out. I mean, we literally rewired every single subsystem in 6 hours and got it to work that night. And I think if it speaks to anything, it speaks to how seriously we took mechatronics, because we were able to do the wiring from memory, or essentially from memory, and got the robot back working.
Another contribution I made to this project were some of the CAD files, including this bumper here, this line following QRD / caster mount to go on the front, as well as this battery mount, all with some clever tricks to make it easy to assemble, and all 3D printed at home.
Here we have the remnants of our PCB, and this was the original one, and we got it to work on this, but both the reason why we have this and why we're not using this. I was messing around with some stuff and fried most of everything, but I want to show you, this is the pick that we used. It's a surface mount pick. Thought this was pretty cool. Super tiny, super compact, which I thought was really cool with our design. I also liked how our robot was very organized with the wiring. It's not anymore because we had to replace literally everything and put this all on a breadboard. But one of the things, if I were to redo the PCB, was I put the power rails in a series, and I would have done them in parallel. Instead, if I were to redo this again, as well as combining a lot of the pins, I could have simplified that with a lot of Thomas's ideas, but I didn't realize when I first designed this.
We ran our robot with an overall state machine that managed the state of the robot, called the robot state, which you can see here. This runs in the main loop, and it has states for each of the different activities the robot could be doing during the course. Each of these challenges has an associated sub-finite state machine, and this main loop either calls the step function of the sub-finite state machine that the robot is currently in, or if it needs to transition to a different state, it calls an initialize function. So as an example, looking at the line following finite state machine, the initialize function sets the state and starts the robot driving straight. After that, while the robot is line following, every time through the main loop, the robot calls this step function, which does the finite state machine for line following.
One edit I would make in our redesign of this robot is to include in our PCB design a separate power circuit for our PIC. That way we can upload code without it interfering with, like having the robot run off because we're powering the whole thing. And also we can't fry our PIC if we somehow give it 12 volts. So we'd have avoided all of this in the first place.